Hi everyone, it's me, Lori from Inner Goddess Tarot. So, a while back, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wrote a blog post that was called something like, My Boss is a Jerk and I Am the Boss. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that today. I got some nice responses to that post, and actually some people asked me to make a video talking a little bit about the business side or the entrepreneurial side of tarot. And I thought that was a great idea. I'm really happy to do that. So as I say, what I'm talking about is my own personal experience of running Inner Goddess Tarot for about 2 years now. And a couple of realizations that I came to recently, right? So when I say, I'm talking about my blog post when I say my boss is a jerk and I am the boss, well, I started to, I'd reached a point where I was in a almost constant state of anxiety when it came to my business, right? And when I started my business, I was I was scared as hell, right? Because it seemed like a crazy thing to do, right? Even though I knew deep down in my gut that it was the right thing to do and it's what I have to do, all that stuff that you know in your gut. But still, your logical brain tells you, are you crazy? Just get an office job and stick with that. Do that tarot stuff on the side. It's fulfilling enough like that, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, I was terrified when I started my business. But also, I was really excited, and motivated and full of joy at having the opportunity to do this. Like, oh my God, actually getting paid to do something that I adore, and to have the freedom of being an entrepreneur, all those wonderful things. So anyway, that was foremost in my mind. Also fear, extreme fear and high anxiety, but also a joy and love of what I was doing. And just recently I came to a realization that I still, no question about tarot. I love tarot and I love reading tarot, but I'd allowed myself to get into this place of negativity and anxiety when it came to my business. And the way that manifested itself was me being this jerky boss to myself. And when I think about the way I treated myself, if my sister or my friend or my husband had a boss like me, I would show up at their office and probably punch them in the nose, or at least tell them to back off, because um, I've been giving myself cruel and unusual treatment. But anyway, that has stopped now. But I will talk to you a little bit about that journey. So I had let myself get to the point in the business, and I know this is not unique. A lot of entrepreneurs get here, where all of your mind, all of your thoughts are focused on the business at all times. So you're checking your phone at all times, you're checking your email, you're answering emails, you're available for clients at any time of day because you just feel like you have to be hustling, you have to put it out there. Even when I would allow myself to take the night off, to watch a movie or relax or go do something with friends, I'd still be thinking about things, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. So I wasn't ever letting myself truly be present in the moment or relax, right? And that's not fair to me, it's not fair to my husband, it's not fair to my family, but it was just where I was, right? And I had put this constant sort of low-level monologue in my head going, you should be doing more, you should be doing something else. What's wrong with you? You're not going to succeed. You're not pulling your weight financially, blah, 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 all that stuff. So the worst part about all of that was that, well, I'd gotten into the habit of not allowing myself to enjoy myself. So not talking about just relaxation and downtime enjoyment, but even enjoying my business, because I was looking at it as something as like, you're not allowed to have fun. You got to be making money. You got to be succeeding. You got to be building your business. You shouldn't see it as fun. It's work. Do it, do it, do it, right? And that's terrible because that's not why I went into tarot at all. It's because I love the cards so much and I love working with them, but I allowed myself to get a little bit off track. So here are some tips. If you're in a similar position to me, here are some tips to help pull you back to yourself, to joy, to enjoying what you're doing, and also building up something that's going to be financially viable and solid in the future. So I think one of the important things to remember is take yourself back to why you started this in the first place, right? most likely, you know, for me personally, I made this decision. Nobody forced me to be a professional tarot reader, right? Nobody forced me to quit my job and go on this adventure, right? I made that decision. So I'm owning that, right? Don't, it doesn't do you any good to sort of walk around feeling sorry for yourself, thinking, oh, it's too hard, or, why aren't things progressing as quickly as I want and all this. No, take it, responsibility, own it. There's a reason why you did this. And if you're like me and you started either a tarot business or a spiritual business, you did it because you love it. You know, you get joy out of what you're doing. So take yourself back and remind yourself why you started it in the first place, right? And that will sort of give you a little different perspective, a reality check, right? Um, with the sometimes, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you allow yourself to have this fantasy that going back to the office job is just going to do it for you this time. It's going to be fine this time, you'll enjoy it, and you can just have hobbies on the side. You know, that could be true for some people, but for a lot of us, it's like, you know, for years that wasn't working for you, so why is this suddenly going to work now? It's just a fantasy of returning to something that has more stability. But in reality, you know, most jobs don't have that kind of stability anymore. But anyway, so remind yourself why you started this in the first place. And then also in that same vein, another thing I've been working on is give yourself time to do business planning. Do a mini business retreat for yourself. Stop, step back, and take a look at the bigger picture. Because I think as an entrepreneur, a lot of us get caught up in daily tasks. You know, we feel we're busy. We feel like we're getting things done when we do that admin, when we do the bookkeeping, when we do the social media, hustle, hustle, hustle. We're doing something, right? And of course, that's important. But if you don't have that longer term goal in mind, that those plans in mind, then it's all sort of reactionary, or it's spinning your wheels but not really getting anywhere, right? So take the time to do some business planning, some visioning, some imagining, you know, make sure you keep up your own professional development, you know, keep learning, keep studying, keep reading books that you find enriching. So things that are looking at the bigger picture rather than checking something off your to-do list every day. Okay? What else? I think it's really important to stop comparing yourself to other people. So when you're building your business or anytime, stop comparing yourself to other people. And I'm terrible for this, you know. I have so many people in the tarot world and outside of the tarot world, of course, as well, who I really admire. And I think, wow, look what they're doing. They're so intelligent. They're so creative. They're so unique, all this stuff, right? It doesn't help to, it's great to admire that, but it doesn't help to then compare yourself and say, oh, I'm nowhere near that. What's wrong with me? I'm not unique, blah, 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 all that stuff. That doesn't help you. So just, that's all I'm going to say about that. Stop comparing yourself to other people and just do what you do. Be you, right? That's all you can do. Be the best you and allow all those, you know, wonderful hidden things within yourself that maybe you haven't even discovered yet. Let those out and don't worry about being like somebody else or being better than somebody else or being worse than somebody else. Okay, what else? I think a really important thing is to consider your own well-being. So in my blog post I was talking about it as like employee health or employee health and well-being sort of thing, right? So when you're an entrepreneur, you are that manager, you are that employee. So employee well-being is important. Take care of yourself. Get some rest. Have some relaxation. Do something fun with your friends, you know? Like I'd reached the point where I realized that I couldn't think of the last time I did something that wasn't tarot related or business related, you know. I hadn't read a book that wasn't either a self-help business book or a tarot book for so long. I hadn't been to an event or a social event that wasn't like a networking event or something, right? Hadn't been to a movie with friends or anything because everything was like, you have to be doing stuff for your business, blah, 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 blah. So be nice to yourself. Take care of yourself. If you are depleted and drained and empty, your creativity is going to dry up. Your health could take a turn. You could get, you know, problems with stress. Take care of yourself first. And then you'll be able to keep producing wonderful, creative, high quality offerings to the world. Okay, and I guess the last thing I would say is I was introduced to this idea of this is on a more practical, technical note, but I was introduced to this idea of the hour of power. And a friend of mine, a spiritual entrepreneur who I admire, Patricia LeBlanc, introduced this concept to me, but it's out there in the bigger self-help sort of new agey world. But the hour of power is this idea that you take an hour a day for yourself and you do three things. So you meditate, you read something enriching or uplifting, and you exercise, right? So even if you just take 20 minutes for each of those, or even 10 minutes for each of those, do those preferably in the morning, and it really sets a tone for your day. So regardless of what else happens for the day, you've taken care of your body, mind, and spirit in some way, right? And it sounds funny, but I found it makes a real difference for me. It helps me start the day feeling grounded and uplifted at the same time, and also healthy and like I've accomplished something, regardless of everything else goes haywire. So it's part of the whole employee health and well-being and all that. But so take care of yourself, but it helps to call it this your hour of power, to make it into something even that you put in your schedule, and rather than saying, I'll grab 10 minutes to exercise here or I'll do that. Make it a ritual for yourself, that you take care of your meditation, exercise, and reading something educational or uplifting, and it really does make a difference. Okay, and last thing in my blog, I mentioned the importance of getting a cat. And my cat Willow, she refuses to come in the video today. She's here, but she doesn't want to come on screen. But for me, this having a cat is all tied in with the whole idea of allowing yourself as a new entrepreneur to shift into this different working environment. So for me, before this, I was always working in an office or something more traditional and similar, leaving the house, going somewhere else for 8 hours, coming home. Well, all bets are off when you have your own home office. So here I am in mine now. With the help of my family and my husband, I have now this wonderful golden office that I do my work in. I'm surrounded by my favorite photos and artwork and goddesses and crystals, everything. So I've created this environment for myself, and Willow, my cat, is an important part of that, because it makes a difference having someone, another little life in the room that can distract me and entertain me, that kind of thing. So if you're working from home alone, then find a way that works for you. Make sure you have the time you need to get the work done that you need to. Also take time to go out and interact with the outside world and other people. Set up a structure that works for you, time management wise, right? So maybe you like to work on a very strict schedule that you outline for yourself. Maybe you like to go with the flow a little bit more, but see what works for you. Try a few different things so that you can settle into a work life that has some balance and is effective for you. So that I've gone on long enough here, but I just want to say, I've taken the time to remind myself how much I enjoy what I do. I'm putting it out there. I love it. I love reading tarot. I love teaching tarot. I love working with the cards. I love writing, and also just sort of allowing myself to enjoy that, to say that I love it. So not to put myself in a position where I'm, feeling bad that my business is still growing. I'm not, pulling in the same kind of finances as I was when I had a traditional office job. You know what? Appreciate what you've created for yourself. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate how you grow a little bit more every day, instead of just being hard on yourself and bringing yourself down with fear and negativity. And find strategies for yourself to help you sort of temper that fear, because it's going to be there, but we can learn to work with it. Most important thing is, don't forget how much you love what you do and why you went into it in the first place. So that's a bit of a rambling account of how I learned to be a much better boss to myself, a much nicer boss to myself, and I feel rejuvenated and inspired and ready to take Inner Goddess Tarot to the next level. Thanks for listening. If you're running your own fledgling spiritual or tarot business, please comment and let me know how it's going. What challenges have you faced? And how do you navigate this adventure that you've created for yourself? And as always, I invite you to visit my website at innergoddesstarot.com for lots of free resources on how to learn tarot, how to navigate your work-life balance, and some really great email, in-person, and Skype reading offerings. Thanks. Bye.